Hey there, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. Good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to come on because it's been a few days since that I've posted anything. And part of it was after all the work I've been doing in the garden, my body was just exhausted. So on our anniversary that morning, like 2 in the morning, I woke up in excruciating pain. So all the muscles were really tight. So I had to get up, put some ointment on that had magnesium in it. My husband tried massaging it, but it was just so uncomfortable. So I've been trying to take it easy. We took off. We've gone fishing. We've done a few things just to kind of chill out a little bit, but still getting into the garden. But one thing that we did, my husband thinks I'm crazy. Part of me thinks I'm crazy too. But we went out yesterday and we got 4 little chickens. They're adorable. This one here, I've already got one name done. And this one, because of her, I don't know if you can see her little white feathers here? She's got them on both. So I've decided to call her Snow White. The other 3, well, they don't have names yet. But I like the name of Snow White. They're all girls, or that's what we've been told. We'll see. We hope. So, but the reason that we decided to go get chickens is I guess I'm on a mission to save the chickens, because after the most recent fire with the chicken manufacturers, I just said, you know what, with the cost of eggs going up so high in the grocery store, the cost of eggs through our farmers and stuff, where they're trying to absorb their costs, I'm just like, I can't keep doing this. I mean, I can't. We don't consume a lot of eggs ourselves, but I do use them in baking. I do preserve them. You know, I have been known to dry some. It's just one of those things that we forget about. And there are other options to using eggs. And I'll go into that into another video. But I decided that, you know, I needed to explain to my husband why, because he really wasn't wanting me to do this. But truth be told, we've had chickens before. When we were first married in 1980, and we moved up to Maine, I think that was in 1981, or maybe between 80 and 81. We were in Maine, and then we ended up renting a house that had some property that the owner did not mind us having animals. So we started out with chickens, 25, because I mean, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all out, right? We had 4 ducks. We had 2 turkeys, or maybe we started out with, I can't remember, maybe it was 4 turkeys. A couple of them didn't make it even after being chicks. That just happens. We had a goat. That was an experience. And that goat used to let our chickens out of their pen every day. We'd get home from work and we'd have to go searching for chickens in the woods. So we were very grateful we never lost any, because being near the woods, we could have lost them. But anyways, so when I talked to my husband about wanting to do this after seeing the fires and stuff, and it's not that I am saying that was planned. Accidents happen in this world. What I'm saying is, I'm on a mission. We're going to save the chickens, as few as we can. Our city does not allow me to have the 25 chickens that I had when we were in Maine. But I can have 5. But the store only sells them in quantities of 4 at a time. So I can't have 8. So I had to go with 4, and that's okay, because that's more than sufficient for me. And this little girl's finally settling down. They like to snuggle because she's still young. We think they're about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks old, maybe less. I just love their little chirps. But anyways, the reason that we are doing this is because we get to control the food that they eat. And I have found over time, because I have a very difficult time eating eggs. It bothers my stomach and I just don't do well. But I have found that sometimes when I eat farm-raised eggs, people who are taking good care of their animals and they're giving them good, nutritious food, that I do far better. And if you think about it, what you put in your body is exactly how you're going to feel. So if you're putting junk into your body, you're not going to feel so great. So we don't know the sources of food of our store-bought eggs. And like the plant that burned down, it was mass amounts of chickens. And so we don't know how crowded those environments are. She wants to nip at me. So, but raising your own, you know the nutrients that go into it. And you can use grains, you can use fruit, you can use all sorts of stuff that you already purchased for yourselves. But you can also go with the grains that you can pick up at the farms, but being aware of what's in them. But another benefit is they're pets. And yes, these will not be meat chickens for 2 reasons. Our city doesn't allow us to. Maybe it's 3 reasons. My husband doesn't like to kill cute little chickens, even though they'll be beautiful. These are the barred. I forgot what name they are. But these are the chickens that he wants to, if we're going to have them, he wants them as pets. So that's why I've started naming them. And Snow White here, it's nice because I'm trying to figure out what's unique about them. She's a little bit more shy than the other ones. And with the little white feathers on the end, it's just kind of, to me, it's appropriate to call her Snow White. So yes, I have already made her a pet. But having pets are like having children. You got to care for them. And like with the little babies here, there's a lot. I'm tired because I couldn't sleep because once we got the light into the box that we have them set up in, I was getting kind of concerned because it just seemed so hot. And we had to adjust the light a few times because the temp got to be over 100. I said, no, that's too hot. Because when they're, little chicks, you can't have it. I think it's over 95. That's what we read. And so we were trying to make sure we got a temperature that was fair to them so we didn't have boiled chicken or baked chicken in the morning. These are too small to eat. But our goal is not to eat these chickens. Our goal is to let them help with our gardens, provide us fertilizer, provide us entertainment, and to care for them. But they'll provide us with some eggs and stuff like that. So all in all, it's well-rounded. So they'll be working girls, meaning they'll be working in the garden alongside with me. And yes, they are work and they're responsible. We have to be responsible for them. We can't just take them in and then forget about them. That's not the way we do our pets. We shouldn't be adopting animals that we just don't want to care for. And it was 2 years ago, I adopted a cat, but I checked with my girls if I can't, because I have a lot of pain issues, and the kitten that we had adopted, she would just keep jumping on me. But I also had some spasms going on in my back and some other spinal issues going on. And although the primary care said, oh, you need surgery, I went back to the surgeon who did my first surgery, and he said, no, you do not want another surgery. And he looked at the x-rays and he says, this is not what you need. And so all I did was I just started exercising. Hello, girl. And just doing what I needed to do, natural pain relief and stuff like that, because I just wasn't interested in pain meds that a doctor can prescribe. But not only that, a doctor can only prescribe so much. So I just didn't want that. So I had to, my youngest daughter said that she and her fiance would take the kitten. And that broke my heart because I truly wanted to have the cat. I mean, we had everything geared up for her. And but they took her, and they're doing a great job because they have another cat. And we think that she did better by having a roommate. And it took a while for them to get acclimated, but they did well. And they're doing great now. They're great siblings. And so that I don't feel bad. But had I not had somebody like my daughter to take the kitten, we would have figured something else out. But I was in so much pain. And the kitten just kind of jumps on you. Fortunately, with chickens, they grow a little bit faster. We can keep them in their bins. We can, and I think we'll just go back to the fact that it gives me a purpose. The gardens give me a purpose. Preserving our food gives me a purpose. Sharing information of things I've learned over the years with nutrients and with herbs and stuff. It gives me a purpose to do something other than dealing with all this worldly stuff. So, another benefit of having these little girls is they will control the bugs and the weeds. Now, they will go after grasshoppers, even though I like grasshoppers, but they will go after snails, which we don't necessarily want in our gardens. Snails, slugs, and other pests. We don't really have much for ticks, but this year was the first time my husband and I have found ticks on us. And that was about a month ago. We haven't seen them since. So we're just kind of hoping. Don't you go nowhere, honey. I'm going to actually put her back in so that she doesn't get too... She's really warm, though. I know. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. But I'm going to put her back because I think she misses her sisters. 1 second. There you go. There you go. Of course, the others are kind of like... They came right over to the side. We've only had them... We picked them up. We've only had them for like about 18 hours. And they're used to me. I don't know about David because he was up early and... Oops, sorry about that. He was up early and had to go head out this morning. But they know my voice. I'm sure they know David's. But raising these chickens is going to be mostly my responsibility. So I'll be the little chicken lady. But I know he will help. As we were driving home, he says, Laura, you're going to kill me. Because he made my greenhouse. He has some other projects that I've recommended. Not that they have to happen. And then he wants to have a nice chicken coop. And we want to have a run for them. So I'm not sure how his run is. He wants to have a run with the cover. Because we see a lot of hawks and turkey vultures and stuff like that. So we want to protect them. If we're going to invest in chickens, and they're not very costly to purchase a chicken, but feeding them and taking care of them will be a little bit of an expense at first. So, when we have children, we take on a responsibility there, and in this way, these little chickens will be able to help us with food, and we'll be able to share the eggs with our family members. Will we get too many eggs? I have no idea. When we were in Maine and had the chickens, we were there. Our chickens were just getting to the point where they could be broilers or whatever, but we basically wanted them for eggs. 25. When I discovered that chickens lay 4 to 6 a week, I'm thinking, I had to have been crazy. I think God was protecting us when he said it's time to move to New Hampshire. Because that would have been a lot of eggs. But, the rules back then were a little bit different in terms of selling them or whatever, or just giving them away and stuff. Whereas now there's rules that because I'm a resident in our town, it doesn't allow me to claim being a farm, so I can't sell them like farmers can. But I think 4 will provide enough for our family needs, allow me to preserve some, so when they're not laying, I have some preserved. So I'll be doing some water glassing and stuff. Now, the nice thing about their fertilizer, and you all know already that I've done gardens before, but not to the extreme that I'm doing them this year. And it's not really a big garden, but for us, it's sufficient. But we need fertilizer. And what I've been doing is I've been using leaves and cardboard. And I'm going to show in another video how I layer my garden plots and how we do our compost. Because it's just when you see after things are coming through and how well the produce is coming along. My tomatoes are like 15, 18 inches, and generally my tomatoes don't always do that well. I've got some flowers. Here we are the first part of June, so I'm kind of hoping that they just flourish. I'm hoping that all the things that I've researched will benefit us more than it's ever done. Because my focus before was always flowers and herbs and, all that gentle stuff, that healthy stuff. But our gardens, because of the cost of produce and the cost, it's not so much the cost of the produce as much as the quality we are getting. And in the stores, you have to consume it quickly or preserve it quickly. And I don't have a problem preserving things. It's just that it seems like I'm really, really busy. And then gone to the organic area. Food is going bad on us, and I think I've shared it in a past post, but maybe not. We have the drivers bringing them in, and with all that's going on with truckers, I think food is taking longer to get to all the locations. I don't know, I'm not going to get into a political debate here. All I'm saying is I can rationalize and understand why possibly we might not be getting good food. It might be taking them too long to get here, because if carrots are rotten on me in 2 days, there's something wrong, because those are our root vegetables that generally don't do that. Maybe it's the season. We're talking May, June, and these carrots are going bad, and people put them up for winter storage, and now we're in spring. So there's that too. But because I don't like my food going bad on me, I don't like spending money and then throwing it away. I don't mind putting things in the compost after I've made like a bone broth or veggie broth and stuff. But I don't want to put my food out there that I just purchased 2 to 4 days ago. That to me is a waste of my husband's hardworking resources. So we're going to use these chickens. Sorry, it sounds like I'm abusing them, but we're going to work together. We will feed them well. We'll treat them well. They'll be family. And we will, in return, reap the benefits of how much we love them by them giving back with eggs and fertilizer. That's a win-win. That's teamwork. You know, in any job, that's what happens. My job is here at the house. We have used dry chicken manure. When we bought our first knockout roses, and those, by the way, are amazing. They bloom from spring to fall. Right now, ours were cut back because every 2 years I cut them to the ground. And then they come back and they do better. But we've used the chicken manure before. And we can't use chicken manure right away because it needs to dry and stuff, just like your cow manure and stuff. The only manure you can use right away is your rabbit manure. And I asked my husband, can we get rabbits too? Not right now. He says no. I'm saying not right now, because he will have to make another rabbit hutch. We've had rabbits before with the girls. So raising animals for farm purposes is nothing new to us, but I am not experienced like other people that I know who have a whole slew of animals. We are doing it small intentionally. This is small so that we can enjoy it. We have, and to be honest with you, after the 2-year viral epidemic, I don't go many places. I don't even enjoy the grocery store anymore. I've never have, but I don't enjoy. So when we go in, I'm kind of like, go where I need to, and it's like, okay. You know, I check in with my husband is, what are you looking for? Because he might like some snacks that I currently don't make. Like I don't make crackers. That's on my goal, but I don't make crackers. And if I'm really tired, like this week was really exhausting to me. My body is just now getting more energy. So, and the pain is subsiding. So I did not bake bread this week. So he did pick up a loaf of bread. And so that's how we kind of go. But the better I get at stuff, the less often he'll have to go to the store. But I did bake cookies yesterday. So a friend of his at work, because things are changing up at his job right now, and one of the guys decided, he went and he helped his mom do some repairs and stuff. And he came home and he said, I don't like doing this. So he knew David liked to work in the wood shop. We make a lot of things, and he asked him, I have some tools I would like you to have, and if you want them. And so David looked at them, and they were things that he could use, things that he didn't have. Although clamps, he had clamps. My husband uses clamps on everything. You ask anybody who does woodworking, you can never have enough clamps. So when he makes things, he might have a clamp holding a project together. he can't start another one if he doesn't have extra clamps, so now he has a few extra. Is it enough? I don't know. I'm not out in his shop right now, so as a thank you, I baked some cookies and stuff for this gentleman who was so gracious to do that for my husband. And my husband came home on cloud 9 with these tools, and it's always nice when God gifts to you through other people, but in return we like to gift back when we're able to. Now, maybe cookies was not the same value, but as my husband said, this guy just appreciates life, and he didn't want these, but he didn't want to sell them because he knows that he would get lowballed. If you've ever tried selling things, people do that. Even with my sewing business, people would say your prices are too high. It's like, I know how much goes into my work. And the same thing happens when we sell certain things. Our value of stuff goes down, but if we're working, our value should not be, cheapened by the cost of what you can get at retailers who purchase from overseas. So, and I'm not saying all overseas companies have bad products. That is not true. There are some companies that I like the quality of products that they bring in. But I haven't shopped for clothes in a couple of years, except for my husband. The basics, underwear and socks. And I get him his jeans, and I did get him a few shirts because his shop is really hot. His new shop won't be that way, but the shop that he's leaving right now was so hot, so I had to get him those shirts that would absorb, so he wouldn't be sitting in sweaty shirts and stuff. And he loves them, so he'll be able to use them at his new shop, or even around the house, or on hot days when we go into town or go on hikes. So that investment was worth it. But other than that, it's kind of nice because I look at the clothes we have, and over the years, I'm very frugal. I try to thrift shop, but I haven't been in those now we're going on 2.5 years. I don't buy much in stores, so going into the grocery store is not a joyride for me. I don't like to go shopping. I see the price of eggs and I feel sad. We don't use many, but there's people that use them every day. And if they have a large family, say you have a large family of 6 and you use eggs every day for breakfast, even if it's just 1 egg a day, that's a dozen eggs every 2 days. So they need to buy 3 or 4 dozen eggs every week. That's just for breakfast, if that's what they have for breakfast every day. If they're baking breads, if they're baking cookies, if they're doing any of that, that's even more costly. So I cringe at that, and I cringe at the cost of a lot of things. And this is just what's going on in our country right now. I'm not going to be angry at it, but I'm trying to do my best, do my part for what I can do here at the house. Why I got the energy God has given me is a miracle, and I'm so grateful. But when I have days where He knocks me down and I have to rest, I'm going to do that, because you're useless if you don't. And part of that, I don't know if I've shared before, but part of the problem is I have chronic persistent Lyme disease. And like I said, I'll talk about Lyme disease specifically in a video sometime and what I've experienced. And even though I feel overall much better than I have when I first got finally diagnosed, I do have moments where it drags me down. And that is not a bad thing, because as I've gotten older, I work hard, taking care of things. But I also recognize that some days I have to lay back. So Tuesday was our anniversary, 42 years. This is so exciting. And so what we did was we did a little bit of yard work. We made sure the plants were all watered. We did all the basic stuff, making sure things were fine, animals didn't come in and take things out. And then we took off and we enjoyed a drive. We did something else too. In the morning we went off and did something, came back. Oh, we went and got our fishing licenses. And I'm excited about this. Now, those who know me know that I'm not a fisherman. I haven't gone fishing in years. The last time I'd gone fishing was when I was a little girl, and my dad said, if you want to fish, you got to put the worm on, because he only fished with worms. And I'm like, ew. And then, so they did show me how to put the first worm on, and then I caught a fish. And they were not going to sit there putting worms on, taking fish off. So I said, okay, if that's the deal, I'm not fishing. And I was okay with that. I was just trying to figure out what's with this fishing thing that draws people to enjoy it. And so we got the fishing license. We did that in the morning. We came home because my husband needed a gallon of milk, so we stopped off, did that, got the cold stuff in the fridge. And then we took off. At the onset of 2020, we ended up going to an adult beverage facility. I used vodka in my tinctures, as many know. But I was looking at some of the other things, and then I came across, because I have tried chocolate liqueurs and like hot cocoa once in a while, and I don't do it much because alcohol puts me to sleep. So, I mean, if I have it in a hot chocolate, and I'm talking about a dark chocolate hot beverage, if I put a little bit in, it helps me sleep for 2 hours. That's not sufficient. But I do like the liqueurs a little bit, but I don't like the alcohol after effects. So I don't even think I drink a shot glass of it. But anyways, we found a brand that makes fruit liqueurs. And they're actually in Lee, New Hampshire. And it's on our way to David's dad's house. So we made plans to go there. And that's what we did on our anniversary. We went there, and then we went to, and it was really kind of nice. And the guy started talking to me about, there was one that was maple, a maple liqueur. And I asked him, I said, what would you use this for? Like on waffles, pancakes, what? He goes, well, some people do. And then he started telling me how people mix it with certain other things. And I said, I need to stop you there, because we're not connoisseurs of adult beverages. I just liked your fruit liqueur. We got, I got the blueberry, the cranberry. So I said, I was just curious about this maple. And he says some people do put it on their waffles and stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I did get it. And we bought some bottles to just kind of have on, and they're really thin bottles. There's not tons in them. So it's just there for, whatever. And this thin bottle, I should run off and go get one so I can show you. It's very tiny. I'm going to do it. Sorry about that. So this is just a very thin bottle, and it's called, and the company's name is Flag Hill. And this one is a cranberry liqueur. Now, I like it, but like I said, I only drink a little bit, and more of the reason that I got this is to make tinctures. I make tinctures with alcohol, and there's so much you can have. When you use liqueurs, if somebody accidentally takes more than they should, it won't affect, because it depends on the alcohol concentration of things. and there's not a lot of alcohol in it. This is 21.5% alcohol volume. So it's a 43 proof. I've been studying up on how alcohol affects our tinctures and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of that because I make a lot of my tinctures, and I started that maybe 2 years into my Lyme treatments because the antibiotics just weren't giving me the results I wanted. They made a huge difference, but not the effect that I wanted. And so getting these flavored ones, I'll be able to make some tinctures that aren't, if I take a tincture in the morning, they won't give me that drowsy effect that happens when I make them with vodka or stronger alcohol. So I can only take a little bit at night when I take some of these. And but the ones that I want to take during the day, they won't give me that groggy feeling by using the liqueurs. So will I drink the liqueurs? They're really tasty. But I'll probably just have a sip. I am not interested in drinking alcohol every day. But these are beneficial. So we did that, and then we went over to another place over in Barrington that is called the Elf Shop or something. I love to go there. I make my own air fresheners and stuff, but they have some that my husband likes, and his is like a Northwood scent. And so I ended up getting that. And then we went to the Caliph store, and that's changed hands over the years. And it's not the same store that it was, but it's still a quaint little store. And then we went and visited his dad, and I gave his dad a much needed haircut. And then we saw the grandkids with our daughter. So it was a lovely anniversary. We had planned on having shrimp or something, and we just didn't get home. And I didn't pull the shrimp out of the freezer, so by the time we got home, it wasn't a big deal. And my daughter made a meal, so it's like I wanted to spend a little time with her and the boys, so it's like we just stayed. And so to us, our anniversary may not have been in bright lights or a romantic dinner out or anything like that, like some people really enjoy. I would have loved to have gone to the ocean, but that wasn't in the cards. And we came home and we both said that was a fabulous day. So that was one thing that we did this week. And then the next day, that fishing license I bought, we went fishing. Actually, we went fishing yesterday. No, we went fishing on Wednesday. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I'm determined to like it because like the eggs are going to bring food for us, fishing will bring food. And I think my husband enjoys going out with somebody. And he likes spending time with me. Go figure. But I like spending time with him as well. So we went out and we went fishing, caught nothing. And I'm like, he's telling me how to do stuff and he's doing it different. And it's like when he taught me how to play chess. He told me some of the rules. And then as he's playing, he's winning. And it's like, you didn't tell me you could do that. That's not a rule. Yeah, he's not fair. And I'm a very competitive person when it comes time to games. And one of my daughter's friends was over and he goes, man, she gets mean when she plays. And I just enjoy playing. I get very competitive, but I don't get upset if somebody else wins. I just kind of get competitive. With the fishing, I didn't get competitive. I was just like, what are you doing? And since I'm new to this, casting, and I don't know all the fishing terminology, so any men that are watching this that are avid fishermen, God bless you. But don't criticize me because by the end of summer, I'll know a little bit more. We were out on the water maybe a little over an hour, and I told my husband, gotta go. I wasn't bored. It's just that you're on the water and you have to go to the bathroom. You gotta go. So we got off the water, and I was talking to the guy because there's a guy there watching. He just kind of makes sure nothing's on our boats and stuff like that. I think there was about 6 boats out there, and it was a small pond in my mind, and there was cottages all the way around, and it was a nice and quiet. And while we were there, it was just It was very peaceful. And it got to the point where I started trolling. I learned what trolling is. And I just closed my eyes. And you could hear some of the fishermen talking. You could hear the birds. When I had my eyes open, we saw this big snapper turtle. Because I said to my husband, I said, what's that? Is that a fish coming out of the water? Because, when you go ocean fishing, you can see the fish coming up. And in some cases, you can see fish coming up for the flies at the top of the water. See, I know some stuff. But in this pond, as the weather gets warmer, I learned this after we got out of the water, the fish are going deeper and deeper in. So the guy told me, he says, next time you come, make sure you have weights on your line so that it goes down deeper so the fish can find it. Because I was kind of concerned, why is my line always on top? It was too light. So I went out. I didn't get a fish, but I got an education. I got to enjoy being quiet. And my house is very quiet, except when I'm talking a lot or when I have the music on, and that's not very loud either, except sometimes I need it loud. It was just an experience that was enjoyable. When you can close your eyes and sit there and enjoy the area around you, it's nice. I learned what to do next. Will it be perfect? No. I did ask the guy, I said, is this a good, I can't even think of the word, the little guy that I put on the end of the line. I know what it is. It's not coming here, okay? Just hang with me. Lure, right? So he says, yeah, actually what you have, because it was like golden, blue, and green, and so it would sparkle. I like sparkly things. Not glitter. Glitter is out. But I like things that sparkle. And he says, the fish will actually like that. Because of the gold on it, it'll be like goldfish for them. Now, I'm giving out secrets that I learned. I should probably just be quiet. But, I'm excited about what I learned. I came home. My husband wasn't disappointed that he didn't get any fish. He was disappointed that I didn't catch a fish. Because he knows that the moment I catch one, I'll probably jump and I'll end up in the water and lose the fish. But he'll know that I'll be excited about it. So hopefully once a week is our goal to go fishing. Will I fill my freezer? I don't know. What I'm gaining from going fishing with my husband is spending time with him. If we get fish, this is awesome. The other benefit of my having a license is so that I can go with our grandkids. I know that David wants to take our oldest grandson fishing with him, but he's 5 years old. Sometimes his attention is great, sometimes it's not, and so sometimes he does things as all little kids do. They try your patience, and he can give you that eye that just kind of like, I'm going to do this, and you're not going to be upset, right? Children test their boundaries. And so I decided I think it would be best if if David's going to take me fishing, that I need to get my license so I can be there to be that extra person. Unless his mom wants to go fishing. I think she might have her fishing license, I don't know. But the boys, she made such a wise decision. She went out and got them each their fishing license before they turned 1. If you do that, it's costly. It's a couple $100. It's a lifetime license for those boys. So we just hope they'll enjoy fishing, which I'm sure they will, because we're just that type of people. We just like to fish. Well, I'm learning to like to fish. I liked the experience of just being on the water. And it was nice seeing other people out there catching fish too. I take great joy when people are successful at things. And and I don't get upset because God has a reason for everything in our lives. And on Wednesday, it was a day for me to learn. And I'm okay with that. So we've done some fishing, we've done this, we worked in the gardens a little bit, we've cleaned up some areas in the yard, mowed the lawn I think twice this week because of the rain and the heat. And so now we have chickens. It's been a busy week, but things will settle down. It's rainy and overcast today. So today I plan on working in the kitchen, putting some things up. Yesterday I'm making some vinegar. The vinegar that I'm making is made with roses and lavender, and that will be used for hair rinse as well as for my laundry, because I use vinegar as a fabric softener. So I just started those, so that vinegar will be ready in about a month. Could I use vinegar that's already the white vinegar you can buy? Absolutely. But I'm not going to right now, because instead of letting this work in the processing, almost like making kombucha, this will just sit for about a month so that it can work itself up, so that I'll get all the goodness from roses and lavender in my hair. And I have done vinegar rinses before, so I didn't make a big batch the last time. So this is kind of exciting, because once I rinse out the shampoo, my hair just feels healthy, and so that I do like. And plus, as we age, some of us have hair loss issues. It's actually very good for your hair. So I wanted to bring up, because I want to kind of close in terms of the chickens and stuff like that. There's a lot of speculation out there, and I am not going to sit here and say that the most recent fire that killed hundreds of thousands of birds, no person was injured. And we've had a lot of production plants, manufacturing plants of food that have had fires this year. 2019, there were 18 fires that year, I believe. Let me see. Nope, there was 24 fires in food manufacturing in 2019. So 24. Now, we're at the beginning of June, so we've gone through 5 months, and we've had about 20 this year. We're hearing about them because of all the controversy that's in the world. I honestly don't know what to believe anymore, so I'm not going to sit here and put fear into your lives. But I will share in another video on how you can save money with your shopping, how you can put food up, and what you can do. But everybody's different. My job doesn't bring money in. My job is to make sure our money isn't wasted. So that's my job. If I bring money in, I'm not. So far, I haven't brought anything in with YouTube. I'm new, so nobody knows me. So share. That's the other thing I forgot to say is, don't forget to share and like, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that, because right now I think it's like 4 subscribers. But I've only been doing this for a week, so I figured that's pretty cool. I got 4. Will I make money on YouTube? And I'm going to be going on Rumble too. I may, I might not. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but I do know that I have great joy when I preserve food for my husband. I've been doing this for years. It's not a it's not a fear thing. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and a lot of it concerns me. And I did go through a couple months where it's like, no, I got to do this. But if you ask my children and my husband, you will discover that I have always been one to make sure there's always an extra package of toilet paper, and that I always, if I bring food in, I put it up. I make salsa. I make tomato sauce. I do all that. I make jams and jellies. This year I'll make a little bit more, and that's because of the cost of food and the quality of food. I don't buy a lot of packaged food anymore because I want to make it, and I have. I'm a great baker. My kids and my husband love the food that I make. They prefer the non-gluten-free ones, except my 2 daughters who are gluten-free. I've gotten so much better on making gluten-free products, but when I make other foods for people, I use the regular flour, and that's what my husband enjoys. He doesn't have the physical discomforts with gluten that I do. Does that mean I don't sneak his goods? Come on. There are some things that are just good. I try to only consume things that I make because that way I know what is in my food. So I don't want to speculate on why so much is going up in flames or why our prices. There is a shortage of food. The shortage of foods can be a cause because of the fires. Over the last 2 years, when 2020 arrived, people were out of work. People had to stay home. People got sick. People died. There are fewer people in the work industry. There are plenty of jobs out there. But I think people have decided they're not going to put up with how they're treated. And it's how they're treated in the retail. And some of the things some of the retail people have shared with me is disgusting. If you're somebody who yells at a cashier or somebody who's stocking shelves and complaining that they don't have what you deem necessary for you, shame on you. Because those are hardworking people working a job to provide you a service. They're not the ones producing that food. They're not the ones bringing it in on trucks. They're not the ones who determine what is put on the shelves. They are simply workers. And even the managers can only do so much. So be kind to those workers. But yeah, the stories I've heard has been horrible. It's not just the grocery stores. It's all the stores. You know what? You can put a smile on anybody's face, whether they're wearing a mask or not. You can tell that they have a smile. Their eyes sparkle when you treat them well. So give out sparkles, you know. And it goes for your pharmacist. It goes to your doctor's office. When you call your doctor, put a smile on your face. Go into the bathroom and put a smile on your face so that you can be happy when you talk to them. Even if it's something that, you may not want to talk. It might be stuff that's bothering you that you need to deal with. Do your best to be kind. They're doing their best. Every day it's different for them as well. Even when you go to work, be kind to your coworkers. Some of them are struggling. I know that at my husband's company, he has people who have family members in Ukraine. And the first week the war stuff started happening, they weren't their chipper self. But what my husband has done, which is really kind of nice, I didn't know he would do this, but he loves his new company. The people are fabulous there. He reached out to them and asked them, how are you doing? How's your family? How's this? And when he came home and he told me this, he said, one of the girls, he goes, she was just so blessed that he asked her, because there's so much going on that fills up their head. They can't think. They can't be their chirper. They can go about and do their jobs. And that's what's happening in the world. Workers have a lot on their mind. I have a lot on my mind. So when somebody addresses me in a very unkind manner, I respond in kind. And I'm not proud of that. But because I know how I feel, I try to be that nice person that goes out there. I'm not perfect. Please know that. But I try. So I got the chickens because, I don't know, they put a smile on my face when I brought them home. My husband just says, I cannot believe I talked you out of it, and 2 days later you convinced me that we're going to go get chickens. They're 4 little chickens. They will get bigger, but they'll be more independent as we go. And just like my children, I will have to feed them. I will have to make sure that, unlike my children who learned how to clean up after themselves, I will have to make sure that their coop is clean and just take care of things. But there is a just reward, because the shavings that they're in and their manure and stuff, will benefit my compost and will benefit our gardens. So, everybody's got to work together, and that's what this is about. So, my short video that is now almost 50 minutes long was to introduce you to my chickens. I got 4. Only one has a name, and I kind of like it. I haven't told my husband yet. Snow White, because she sleeps more, and they go and they lay on top of her. I have a feeling she's going to bully back as she gets going. And I just wanted to share that, I won't be on here every day. And some days I will provide more than one video, but I might space them out on when they come on. And as I've said, I don't have the software or the camera equipment to cut and paste right now. So what you get is real and authentic. You get me. And so hopefully you've enjoyed this broadcast or video, or what am I supposed to say? I don't know. Stick with me. Please be sure, as I said, please subscribe if you feel like you are compelled to follow me. I will always try to remain positive. I will always give God the glory of my day. And I hope that you'll enjoy being here. So subscribe. And if it's only this video you like, liking is a big help. Share if you think somebody else can benefit from what I've shared. This is me just starting out with chickens. Even though I've had experience with chickens, it's been a number of years. We've been married 42 years, and we had the chickens when we were first married the first year. So we're talking 40 years. So to me, I'm not experienced. I have knowledge of what I remember, not years of experience that can give advice. I'm going to be sharing my experience as I go. I'll be able to share some of the gardening experiences that I've had and what I've done differently this year that seems to be working. But like with all gardens, if you ask anybody who farms, anybody who gardens, every year is different. They might have grown peas fabulously last year, and this year they don't grow at all. And that happens no matter what we do in life. So my mission to share today is I'm going to save the chickens. Only 4, but I'm saving the chickens because I hate to see that we got that bird flu, whatever that they say is going out. So I don't know what's going to happen with the availability of chickens. And I have a home. It's only a 1/4 acre lot. It's not a lot. But I'm grateful that God has given us a home that I can have a small garden. It brings me joy. And I don't feel so beat up with the Lyme disease and other health things that can be exhausting. But I can have joy taking care of things, whether it's plant life, animal life, husband life. Seriously, he's a joy. He drives me crazy, yes. But I don't know what I would do without him. And I love my kids. They are not all local. I have one that lives in Maine, another that lives in Croatia, and another that lives an hour away in another town with her kids. And I love them beyond a doubt. And do I wish I could see them all together more frequently? Absolutely. And since before 2020, we don't get to see them much as a family unit, which I truly, truly miss. But you know what? We're fortunate with technology today. As much as I don't like it, we are fortunate with technology because I get to see them. My kids, I have 2 daughters who stream on Twitch, and I'm thinking about going there too because I like to talk, and people like to talk with you. So my girl said, Mom, you would do great there. So I might be going on there to share my herbs, and the same thing that I'm doing here. I haven't decided. If so, that link will be put into About Me page. So I'm going to end this because I could chatter and chatter and chatter, and I've got lots to do today. I have other vinegars I want to make. My 1 bottle of Mead and my 1 bottle of wine. I'm making a blackberry mead using some local honey, and I'm making some honeysuckle wine. So they're still bubbling away. They've been going for a week or two. So I've got another couple weeks to go until the bubbling stops in the airlocks. And I love the airlocks. It's just like, and then I'll have to process them through and do some other things before I can actually bottle them. And I'm not going to be making a lot, but I decided that I might make a strawberry mead today. I haven't decided. I have some strawberries, and strawberries are coming out at the farm, so I'm hoping to get out to the farm to pick up a couple baskets of strawberries so I can put them up. But also I have a small patch. There'll be little strawberries. They're out there, and I've got them covered, and so far, please God, the birds are not in there because we covered them, and we don't have any. I'm starting to see some holes, so I knew that some of the animals are getting in there, so I'm going to go out there and cover them up a bit. My grapes are coming along, but I won't see them till fall. And it looks like last year we had 4 clusters. This year it looks like we might have quite a few more. And yesterday when I made the vinegar, the rose and lavender vinegar, what I did was I went out and got a large grape leaf and I put it on top to keep the water underneath so they didn't just kind of get all messy. And and I'm making them like I'm making vinegar like I would kombucha with a nice tight, not real tight, but a tight weave cover like a gauze, and so that the air can breathe through and I don't have to burp it and all that. And you want the air to go through to make vinegar. So that's the difference between making wine and mead versus making vinegar. The vinegar needs the air, but putting a cloth over it keeps fruit flies and everything away. So, and I do not like fruit flies, but we'll put up a little thing for the fruit flies to go into. So, that being said, if you have the resources and the time, go out and adopt a few chickens. But if not, please be sure to support your local farmers because they are working hard to provide you with healthy chickens, healthy eggs. And I think I mentioned, maybe not, we're not raising these birds for meat because our town won't let us. I mean, they're only letting us have 4 or 5. And that's not enough to raise eggs, to raise meat birds as well as have eggs. So we do what we have to do. So these are egg producing. But if you can adopt, please do. If you can't, don't do it just on a whim. Do it because you can provide the time and responsibility to care for them, just like you would if you had a pet. So that being said, be proactive. Know that, yeah, there's going to be food shortages. Yes, the prices are going to go up. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely not. I'm trying to figure out how are we going to make it and keep our budget. And there are ways to do it, but it's work. And that, again, is why it's not just health reasons that I'm home. I'm home working. And I was really, when my husband first told me that, because I feel guilty that I'm not working outside the house. And he goes, you shouldn't feel that way. He says, the things you do, most especially with how you feel, you're working for us. So for him to recognize that is a gift, and not all women have that in their spouse. And so I am very fortunate that he does, and I recognize it too. So, like I said, we are now up to almost 1 hour. And so I'm going to say bye for now. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, share, and I will be back sharing some other things with you. Have a fabulous day, and may God bless you.